cannot limit myself to one single reason for advocating the Zeitgeist movement and the Venus Project, but for the purposes of this testimonial, I might say that my love of humanity is what motivates me to find solutions to our current social problems. I have been told I should be thankful for the life I have, because there are many others out there less fortunate than myself. I, however, find no comfort in knowing that I benefit while others suffer. A society that cannot provide food and shelter for everyone is nothing to be thankful for, especially when I know that humanity is capable of so much more. It's strange to look back and see where I was compared to where I am, and more importantly, who I am compared to who I was. As my eyes were opening to the world around me, it was clear that things were, and still are, far worse than I was led to believe. I didn't really want to believe what I was hearing, seeing, and experiencing, but my feelings about the world cannot change that. No matter how much knowledge I absorbed, I felt powerless to do anything about it. That is, until this idea of a resource-based economy was introduced to me. What's this? A world without money? I asked myself. By this point, I was aware of modern money mechanics, so rather than reject the idea, I began to conceptualize in my mind how a moneyless society might be organized. I found it really easy when the analogy of a global library was used. That's when it all made sense. It's not that we needed to own things, we just needed access to them. This, to me, is the cornerstone of a resource-based economy. For without this philosophy, there will always be a struggle for acquisition. Moving forward means we'll have to change our attitudes towards property and freedom. It's not easy to make such drastic paradigm shifts, but it's also not impossible. We have accomplished so much as a species in such a relatively short time, but for some odd reason, people still feel powerless to do anything. That their hopes and dreams are subject to the decisions of an elected few, and then calling that freedom. People may call this movement the fantasy of a few idealists, but the real fantasy is thinking you can continue living in an economy of perpetual debt and cyclical consumption. The Zeitgeist movement is about empowering people to take society into their own hands. That is the beauty and true essence of it all. Bad things happen when good people do nothing, and we've done a whole lot of nothing for a long time. It's about time we realize we are capable of much more than we've been told. The technology and resources are here, so the only thing holding us back is us. Today, humans conform to the values of the system. But shouldn't the system conform to human values? Today we measure success by how much we can take. Tomorrow we might measure success by how much we contribute. Today our decisions are based on fear. Fear of not being good enough, fear of not having enough, fear of losing what we've got, fear of being cheated, fear of being rejected. Tomorrow we might base our decisions on love. Loving yourself, loving your neighbor, loving the planet, and loving what you do.
I love you, man. That was good. That was